Okay, story problems. These are not quite as bad as the others, okay? And here's kind of a guideline sheet. A car travels from town A to town C by way of town B, means through town B. The car travels 175 kilometers, that's for the whole trip. The trip takes 2.5 hours. It takes 0.75 hours or 3/4 of an hour to get from town A to town B. Assuming the same speed is maintained for the entire trip, how many kilometers apart are town A, town B? It's an easy problem. You just use proportions, okay? You're not going to use unit multipliers here. Proportions is where we put in equals and cross multiply and divide. So we know that we have 175 kilometers for the trip, and in the meantime, that whole trip is taking 2.5 hours. Okay, so this little part we want to figure out, we know we have the time for that, but we don't have the kilometers, okay? Cross multiply and divide. I think it's 52.5. Yep. So 52.5 kilometers. Okay, determine the total length in meters of the wall section. It has to be in meters though. So blank meters. Now, what you have is decimeters, some centimeters, and then you have one that's actually in meters, okay? So you're going to add the decimeters and convert them to meters. So I'm going to make a kind of a wall. So I'm going to add my decimeters. I'm going to take 10.2, 4.52, not that one, that's not decimeters. DM. 8.3 and 4.52. So I'm going to add those up. Okay, I got 27.54. Now label it, please, DM. Why do you label it? Well, because we need to now convert that to meters. So over 1, so DM and M. Now let's look up here. Where's DM? 10 decimeters to 1 meter. So 10 is with decimeters, 1 is with meters. So the top multiplies to 27.54 and the bottom multiplies to 10. So I divide and it's 2.754 meters. Now, you have another part. Add the centimeters, convert them to meters. Okay? So cross out all the DMs, they've all been converted. Now add the centimeters, this and this. Not that, that's already in meters, okay? So 10.4 plus 10.4 is 20.8. Now put its label centimeters over 1, okay? And then we're going to convert it from centimeters to meters. Okay, so centimeters, there's 100 centimeters to 1 meter. 100 with CM, 1 with M. 20.8 times 1 is 20.8. 1 times 100 is 100. Then divide. And it's going to be 0.208. Now, do not forget about the one that was already in meters, the 6.3. Now we can add these all together. Okay? So, 2.754 plus 0.208 plus 6.3. 9.262. Hold on a second. Okay. Number 18. We're doing, and 18 is like the same thing as 17. An assembly consists of 5 metal plates. The respective areas of the plates are 450 square centimeters, 550 square centimeters, 10.6 square decimeters, 14.5 square decimeters, and 0.2 square meters. Determine the total surface measure in square meters of the 5 plates. Add the square centimeters, convert them to square meters. Okay. So square centimeters, you got 450, 550. That's not a square centimeter, neither is that, so just those two. So I add those two and it's 1,000. Put its label because you need to convert it, okay? So we're getting it out of square centimeters into square meters. There it is, okay? Notice how every page, the table is right there? Yeah, you're welcome. So cm to the second, 10,000 square centimeters is 1 square meter. So 10,000 goes with square centimeters, 1 with square meters. Okay, so that's 1,000 divided by 10,000. And one thing, you need them in blank meters, square meters. Okay. That is 0.1 square meters. Okay, but that's not it. Now you add the square decimeters, convert those to square meters. So I've already done these. Cross them out once you do them. Okay. Don't circle that. That's not a square decimeter. Okay. That's already in square meters, like kind of the last problem. We had that one at the end that was already in meters. 10.6 plus 14.5. 120.5. Oh, wait a second. I didn't get that. Doesn't make any sense. 25.1. Okay. So 25.1 square decimeters over 1. Now, we need it in square meters. dm squared, there it is, 100 to 1. So 100 dm, 1m. 25.1 times 1 is 25.1, and then 100. So you divide it, then it's 0.251 square meters. Now, why am I making a third column? Well, there was this amount we already had. And now you add up your three amounts. .551. Okay, number 19. 2 problems left. This one's the hardest probably, even it's not that bad. Okay. A roll of fabric has a surface measure of 5 square meters. How many pieces, each requiring 2,500 square centimeters of fabric, can be cut from the roll? Make an allowance of 10% for waste. Now, we're going to deal with that 10% waste right away. First off, remember the waste means you take each piece, 2,500, okay? And you got to add an additional 10% onto that, okay? So here's how we're going to do that. We're going to find 10% of 2,500 and then add that amount to the 2,500. Okay. If you want to set it up, it might be easier just to do it this way. Okay. The game plan. 10% of 2,500. Put that in parentheses and you add it onto the 2,500. Because then it will add that percentage on. So find 10% of 250, 2,500. All you need to do is make the percent into a decimal by moving it twice to the left. Take 0.10 times 2,500. So it's 250. Then add that to 2,500. 2,750. I put a label on that, square centimeters. So that's really how much fabric you need for each piece, because you need the waste factor in there. You just find the percent of the value and then add the value onto it. Okay, now convert your 5 square meters to centimeters squared. Now some of you are like, well, I thought, Herbson, I thought you always wanted to convert to square meters. Not in this problem. You want to convert your starting amount to your cutting amount, okay? Because our cutting amount is right there, okay? So take your 5 square meters and convert them to centimeters. So 5 square meters, and I'm going to kind of block that off right there, okay? So that's the piece length. Label that piece length. That's what you just found, okay? Now take your total amount and then convert that to centimeters squared. So cm squared, 10,000 to 1. That's going to be 50,000, okay? Now finally, divide to find how many pieces. So that's your beginning amount, 50,000. I'm going to block that off too. So that's the first step, okay? That's the second step. Now the third step's easy. You just divide your beginning amount, 50,000, because now they're both in the same unit, by the piece length, 2,750. $18, okay? So that's how many 18s, how many you can get. So again, you have to find 10% of the piece value, okay? And then add that on, because every piece you cut then has that amount added on to it, just like that 10% of 2,500 added with 2,500. So that's how much you need for each piece. Now you convert the meters squared to centimeters squared, okay? Using your conversion rules. And then finally you divide, because that's your total amount, that's each piece length, so divide this by this to get here, 18. Okay, number 20, this is an easy one. I don't care, yeah. The liquid intake of a hospital patient during a specific period of time is as follows: 300 milliliters, 100 milliliters, 150 milliliters, and you can read, okay? What's the total liter intake of liquid for the entire time period? So we need liters, okay? Okay, add up your milliliters. They're all milliliters, so you can add them all together. You don't have to go circling them because they're all the same. It's not like you have to convert some and use a different conversion for others. 1,365 milliliters, and then you convert them to liters. So put that over 1, and you just simply 1,000 milliliters, 1 liter. So it's going to be 1,365 over 1,000. You divide it, it's 1.365. We will take this on Tuesday.